From Bob Sullivan Field here at Bayport-Blue Point High School, the Varsity Media Sports Network presents the Suffolk Division II showdown between the Phantoms of Bayport-Blue Point and the visiting Lions of West Islip. Today's Suffolk Division II matchup is sponsored by the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation, as well as Breakout Goaltending Group. Well, a pleasant good afternoon to you all. Dylan Butler, John Geegan with you on the call for what should be a fun one here out at Bayport-Blue Point. It is lacrosse weather finally, John. No coats, a lot of guys and girls in shorts. It's fantastic weather and should be a fantastic matchup as well.
Absolutely. Great day for a game. We've been looking forward to this one, and both teams in a non-league game, so they're looking for kind of one of those final tune-ups as they head into the playoffs, make sure the different intangibles that they have are right and ready to go to make a run.
You see the visitors from West Islip, they're on a roll right now. They've won 7 games in a row. That includes Friday night at Kings Park, where they trailed 5-1 after one. They battled back, won that game 13-7. Some early great wins early, some hiccups after that. But really, they have righted the ship since. Tom Corcoran's guys playing their best lacrosse at the best time. And, of course, it helps when you've got one of the better face-off guys in the county as well in C.J. Schwartz. It feels like he's been here for 10 years, says Bayport coach Doug Meehan. And Schwartz, you see his numbers, 78%. He was about 75% coming in to that Kings Park game, went 20 of 22. This year, too, a little bit of a different wrinkle for the Albany-bound, you can't really say Fogo. He's staying on. And not only is he staying on, he's in the first midfield unit, and you see the numbers. He's contributing.
Absolutely. You know, Schwartz is a special player. I'm sure Coach Meehan won't be sad to see him go and move on, because he's definitely been causing havoc in Suffolk County lacrosse for quite some time. And, you know, with this type of situation, with a face-off guy like this, we've seen throughout high school lacrosse this year, a face-off guy can really dominate and change the tempo of a game.
And you see on the other side of it is Brendan Pollard, the senior, tall, turned into a physical player as well. And he's using his body. He's playing hard. And, you know, one thing that West Islip, unfortunately, is dealing with is some injury. Kevin Sonati, who is probably their best D/LSM, he's out. So Pollard has stepped in as the guy on that side of the ball. And he's going to have some incredible players to deal with here this afternoon. When we take a look at Bayport-Blue Point, the Phantoms 11-2 on the season, one of the best teams on the lower level, if you want to call it, in Division II, and they've got some dudes. I said to you the other day, like, that's the best way to describe, I think, the Phantoms. They've got dudes, and we'll show you a couple of them now as our players to watch in this game, and one is Ben Morris. Benny Buckets, they call him around town, and you can see why. 41 goals, 19 assists for the junior, bound for Johns Hopkins. And on the other side, it's the coach's son, Mikey Luce, 2 goals, 1 assist. That's out of having a long pole, so we know what he can do when he gets to call his turnover. He gets up the field and causes havoc. He's bound for Boston University. So we take a look as both teams go back to their benches at the starters for this one. First for the visitors from West Islip. And the Lions have an attack line of Sparks, Aponte, and Busking. Busking's the young pup of that group, the sophomore, but really, really talented. Your midfield is a Fairfield commit, and Patty Keenan. There's Schwartz, part of that as well, and another young buck there as well, Quinn Riley, a great lacrosse family, which we will detail as this broadcast continues on. And your close D of Pollard, Mickey Faulkner, and Ryan Carlson as well for head coach Tom Corcoran. He's a West Islip guy out of 1986 graduate, and Corcoran's in his 5th season at the helm. And in the cage is a first-year starter for West Islip, and that's number 13. There you see him, Cam Dorfman, 69 saves on the year. Similar to his team, had some early struggles. He's righted the ship and playing really well. Had a season-high 13 saves against Kings Park just the other night. And for Bayport-Blue Point, the Phantoms have a really outstanding front 6 and some tough and physical poles as well. Here you see them, Trey Thomasone, the sophomore, Benny Morris, PJ Shanahan, bound for St. Bonaventure, your first midfield line of Macklin Kaiser. He's going to St. John's. And the Aiello brothers, both bound for Navy as well. That's going to be a lot of fun to see those guys playing for Joe Amplo. Your close D of Mikey Luce, Sean Druckenmiller, and Emilio Diaz for head coach Doug Meehan in his 5th season at the helm, a Sayville graduate of 2009. In the cage for Bayport Blue Point, splitting duty here this afternoon. We're going to start with number 16. It's Eric Grom, the Siena commit. 46 saves on the season. He's a lefty, taking over a bit of a leadership role this year. In the second half, we'll see Brady Smith, the junior, and he's an Albany-bound commit. They had 2 D1 goalies last year with Matty Nyland as well. 2 D1 goalies as well again this year. It's a terrific, maybe embarrassment of riches for the Phantoms.
Absolutely. It's a luxury when you have 2 D1 goalies there, and it's something that sometimes can be tough to manage, but you got to go, with the hot hand, but they both are clearly capable of, making an impact on the game.
And let's take a look at the keys to this game for both of these teams. For Bayport, they want to steal possessions and try, at least, to tire C.J. Schwartz out. A lot of different ways you could do that. Those 50-50 ground balls, those battles. You want to get him physically involved. Offensively, they want to play fast before West Islip settles into their defense. And defensively, they want to make West Islip beat them off the dodge. West Islip, hey, they want to win the faceoff game, and they want to do it easily as well. Good possessions and ball control is super important. A lot of times this year, you win that opening faceoff, you try to go to goal right away. Maybe there's turnover, an unsettled situation, you turn it over. You don't want to do that. You want to play sound defensively. Make sure you get your matchups on that side of the ball. So here we go, opening face-off. And to the right, you see C.J. Schwartz, and again, we expect a lot of pole work from Bayport from the face-off X in this game. Again, just trying to muck things up a little bit for one of the best guys in this county. And Schwartz goes backwards, a little push as well. So West Islip gets the first possession, but again, a little bit of duress, right, for Schwartz.
Absolutely. Balls on the ground. Wasn't a clean win, not a clean fast break, pass type situation. So successful, but unfortunately a little push, loose ball, and the ball's going the other way.
So here come the Lions right now on attack. We mentioned a little bit here in the open some signature wins. Man, they opened up the season beating Connecticut, who right now is tied for first in Suffolk D1 with Ward Melville. And then they beat Farmingdale, a team that arguably is the favorite in Nassau Conference A, right? So those are 2 wins right off the bat. They played some of the other better teams early as well, right? They got Shoreham when they were really, really firing, and there's the first shot on frame and a nice, easy save for Gran.
Yeah, good save. I say it all the time like a broken record. Getting the first one's big, settling in, especially when you're only playing the first half. You want to get that early and often, and that's sometimes a challenge for West Islip because they have great time of ball possession. So we'll see how fast that we can get Cam Dorfman in there getting his first save too.
And here's P.J. Shanahan. We're used to seeing him wear that number 26, wearing that special number 2 jersey this year for the Phantoms. We'll talk more about that as the broadcast goes along. Now it's Macklin Kaiser, the junior bound for St. John's, who's coached, by the way, by a West Islip legend. So that's an interesting one there for you. Here's Kaiser getting downhill. Nice pass. Comes off the carpet, so Danny Aiello will reset.
West Islip here holding the slide.
Lefty rip, and there's the first save that you were asking for.
Big save by Dorfman. It's going to be a long day for both offenses if both goalies continue to play that way. Solid save, time and room. Not an easy one off stick, so I think it's the right decision to pull the trigger on that, but Dorfman's up to the task.
Good clear by Brendan Oblage, part of that defensive midfield unit this year, which consists of guys who previously were going both ways. And Tom Corcoran said, listen, we've got 2 guys in Oblage and Nick Klimitas who can really get the job done there. So they are both D-middies looking to clear the ball. That was an errant pass, and then over, or there would be a hold, looks like, so it'll stay with West Islip.
Yeah, it looked like Bayport just stepped off sides for a sec right there, and the official was right there and made the call. I didn't think he was going to see it, but he did.
Already giving the officials love. Good stuff, John.
Doesn't happen often.
lowering the shoulder, kicking it back out. Patty Keenan hands off. And there's Quinn Riley. Jump shot wide. Good pickup off the ground, though. So they can continue this set. That's Evan Aponte.
West Islip going to the invert set early with Aponte here dodging, and we'll see what we get.
And we get a goal off of it. Somehow sneaks in, and West Islip takes the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they did there, whether it was a zone or a man-to-man, but there was, I guess, no slide or a late slide there to Aponte. So you see him here. We got the invert pulling the short stick behind. So normally you'd have an earlier slide designated, but it looks like they're confident here in their scheme. So dodge comes from behind. And you see him just turn the corner, and right there you see that that Grand got a piece of it. It looked like it went off his body, and as a goalie I always say that those are the ones that hurt twice. It hits you, it hurts, and it goes in, it hurts. So unlucky.
So Aponte, the senior, gets his 20th goal of the year. And great job on the face-off X for Bayport. You get the win on that one, and again, that was Emilio Diaz, the Pole, getting the job done. He's the guy who will take the majority of the face-offs, at least this afternoon. And that's the one thing they haven't quite found here. They've got great goalies. They've got dudes up front, including this one, getting to the cage. Low shot, and somehow doesn't find its way through. J.J. Aiello bullying his way to the cage, but can't get it past. But what they don't have here in Bayport-Blue Point is a face-off guy. So help wanted on that front. They need someone from the youth ranks. And it's great, too. We see a lot of young kids out here as well. They had a great situation when the kids were coming in. They had the sticks raised over them. But somehow, they need a face-off guy. Doug Meehan thinks they might be an 8th grader. But that's been the one missing ingredient these last couple of years.
Yeah, and in the last few years, especially in high school lacrosse on Long Island, we're seeing such an emphasis on the face-off position that if you don't have it, it could be a huge, huge gaping hole in your team's run to a championship, because we've seen a lot of teams run away with the momentum late in the game because of their face-off guys.
Great skip pass across. Looks like that's Aponte. His shot was affected by, I think it was Diaz.
Yeah, last possession, real quick to mention, West Islip did a good job. They pushed the attack into almost Dorfman in a bad angle, and I know Coach Corcoran is confident in the way they play defense, and that's exactly the scheme you want. Push him into a low-angle shot, and then Dorfman's right there to close the gap and make the save.
Steven Trauma, part of this group. You see him number 6, just passing that ball off and getting it right back. Part of that second midfield unit along with Logan Brennan there getting a touch. Brennan swims, doesn't force it, smart move, and they get it to X. And that's what you want out of your second midfield unit. That one, though, is on the carpet, and you got to look out because you've got some big dudes there. Mikey Luce hunting right now.
Yeah, Mikey Luce there. There is definitely a size discrepancy in that matchup there, so I'm interested to see how that one plays out today.
Now the pass by Nick Henry. He's that third member of the second midfield unit.
And that's going to be part of the game today. We're looking at the depth West Islip has versus Bayport, and we'll see how deep and how far West Islip takes them into the game. Because of that depth, they can run a whole second midfield on offense, which becomes a huge game changer on one of these first hot days of the spring.
That one was forced into the teeth of the defense, and now Bayport, they might have something going here, unsettled. Pole goal! And we are tied at 1. It is Luce, letting it loose.
That one came out fast and hard. Tough one for any goalie to get a piece of. So, see the ball off the carpet here. We're going fast break. Big ground ball there. We're going fast break the other way.
That was Riley Spencer with the pass.
And just hitting the open man. This is, sometimes poles get criticized for the shots. That's a 10-yard shot. It had to come out in the 90s. Nothing really Dorfman could do off hip there. It's coming in hot.
I'll never criticize the pole for taking the shot. Love him. Schwartz, this could be a dangerous one. He's still trying to scoop that up. Finally gets it behind his own cage.
So we've seen, 3 face-offs so far today, and none of them a clean, fast break win for Schwartz. So Coach Meehan has to be happy with the progress this far from the face-off X.
Yeah, the first one, there was a push from behind. The second one he lost, and this one he had to go all the way back to his own cage. And in fact, Tom Corcoran was forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, it's something you got to be happy with it. It's part of your game plan. You prepare for this, and these are the things that when your team can execute a game plan like this, going into the playoffs, that's really positive because when you have to change things up pretty fast, do things you haven't done, that's what you want to see.
We again want to thank the folks at Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation, whose mission is to spread the positive spirit of lacrosse and support the highest ethical standards for all participants through annual initiatives, which include targeted grants, scholarship programs, lacrosse education clinics, and events to raise awareness and resources in support of the game. The Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation. This is the West Islip huddle. A year ago, these two teams met. What a game that was, where West Islip pulled it out in the final seconds, winning this one. What do we have here for that final score? Last meeting was 10-9, where Conrad McChaney scored the tying goal and the late winner. Pat Keenan had 3 assists. Cole Sparks 1 and 3. Evan Aponte 3 as well. For Bayport, you had Ben Morris, Jamison Smith, both with 2 and 2. J.J. Aiello and P.J. Shanahan with 2 and 1 apiece. Jamison Smith, a tremendous player for Bayport-Blue Point. He is currently playing his collegiate lacrosse at Johns Hopkins. And Johns Hopkins back in the dance again this year. Selection show was last night.
Yeah, I know a certain Chaminade goalie committed to Hopkins that is very happy about that.
A stacked field. That's going to be a fun couple of weeks. And look at this, off the turnover. Here's Bayport. That shot wide of the mark. And you see how quickly Bayport wants to get in to their offense. And in fact, they got in so quickly that there was no backup.
It looks like Dorfman hustled out and actually got the possession there, according to the official. So we're going the other way.
Here's Quinn Riley. Pumps the brakes, gets the clear. You mentioned the lacrosse family for Quinn Riley. Dad Thomas played at Maryland and at Delphi. His oldest brother, Colin, is a junior at North Carolina, playing on the Tar Heels, and Parker is a sophomore at Maritime. And Quinn's still just a sophomore, so he'll have his chance collegiately in a couple years. Now here's Schwartz. We mentioned stays on. When he gets stuck on defense, that's fine. He'll play defense as well. Pretty much the only time you will not likely see Schwartz is man up. You got to rest dude sometimes, right?
It's important. You got to get some sort of breath. Keep you fresh to get back on there.
Look at Luce. What an effort by Luce. Somehow, though, West Islip maintains possession. There seemed to be an injured player down. That was Cole Sparks, a little bit shaken up by that stick check. And look at the sportsmanship there by Luce as well. There was nothing at all that was overly physical, right? But Luce recognizing it, goes over, just shakes his hand, checks if he's all right.
Yeah, sometimes because of the size discrepancy you have, just when you're D'ing somebody up, the angle that your pole and your checks are going to land are going to be really tough for him to take and handle and eat all game. So it's something, like I said, I was interested to see how this is going to play out throughout the game.
So Sparks will take a quick break. As now West Islip maintains their possession. Here's Patty Keenan. Bound for Fairfield. Mr. Everything for this West Islip team. Maybe a little bit undersized for the next level, but listen, size doesn't matter in this sport, man. If you can play, you can play.
Absolutely. And you see in the invert here, we just saw Bayport, last goal, got beat on the invert. They had their slide ready to go. It wasn't a threat, so they didn't send them, but you could clearly see they made that change and that adjustment already.
They work it to X. Again, trying to feed it through the middle. Looks like there was a crease violation. Would have been a turnover regardless.
Yeah, you saw number 19, Sean Druckenmiller, in there. Did a great job closing that crease up. He was getting the feed to his man. He checked down hard, and that ball went away.
First penalty of the game. It'll go against Derek Varley. He plays like a football player because he's one of the better players in Suffolk County, and you can see the extra physicality there as well. After the loose stick check, it'll be a cross check, so 1 minute man down for Bayport blue point, and it's the first man up for West Islip. Here you see it again right at midfield.
Yeah, a little high there. Both teams filled with big, strong guys that I think are not afraid of a little contact and some physicality. So I'm sure something we'll see as the game continues.
So first man up for either team, and it's a 1 minute. So this will get it down to 2:55 on that scoreboard on the bottom right of your screen. And the poles for Bayport are so good that, and they're so big, you really got to be precise with your passing, and that was perfect. Busking buries it, and it's 2-1 for West Islip.
That's as good as it gets offensively. And Dylan, like you said, the poles on Bayport are big guys. They're disciplined. They take up the skip lanes. So you really got to be precise with your passing, and they were. You see, pull it down as you get a little rotation, hit the backside. There's nothing you can do as a goalie on that backside open, and that's exactly what you want to do on a man-up situation. You hit the skip passes because the defense is in the zone, and you make a move, and you have that kind of caught-in-between slide, and there's your opportunity.
It was Sparks with that pinpoint perfect pass. So great to see him back out there. His 34th assist of the year in busking, picks up goal number 30. And Schwartz still struggling to get it. And look at this. He and Luce just flings it forward. And Bayport will get the ball.
Another big momentum type win for Bayport, seeing that they can neutralize Schwartz there. And a little interference call, and we're going the other way for Bayport.
And how much do you think that the Bayport polls, just their mouths probably started watering when Meehan's like, listen, this guy is like 78% at the X. We need you to muck things up here. They're like, we got you, coach. Bouncer wide of the mark by J.J. Aiello.
For sure. It's always exciting when you get to come off the base or you have something else that's being requested of you. And if you could just keep it down, you see Bayport's good off the ground. So you turn a face-off into a 50-50 ground ball, their odds is just as good as anyone's.
Lefty rip, save on that one. Rebound, shot high over the net. That was Macklin Kaiser with that first shot.
Yeah, tough to tell. I don't know if that hit Brendan Pollard, in which case, as we talk about, then there's a burrito old to your defenseman there if he eats one of those.
No, you know what he's going to get? He's going to get some Classico pizza.
True.
We're going to get some as well at halftime, our halftime food review, and that shot was wide by Benny Morris.
Bayport's doing a good job of squeezing the field, as we talk about on offense, moving the ball quick. Their offensive players are getting tighter and tighter. That last shot was taken from about 10, 11 yards, and that's a time and room shot. West Islip definitely needs to focus on getting further out and pushing that field out, extending the defensive or offensive zone.
There's Danny Aiello, number 7, and you can see a little bit of a lock now on his older brother, J.J. Aiello. And J.J. looked like he was just running around, right? Like he's not going to stay stagnant, and now he'll just come out and set a screen. Danny flings it far side, looking for something similar to what West Islip had the other way, but that pass was off the mark.
Yeah, backside's a tough one. I also think there that Dorfman did a good job of getting in that skip lane, making the pass seem tighter and more difficult to hit than possible.
And West Islip gets the clear. They could push it here for some early offense. Bing, bang, boom. How about that? A little tic-tac-toe with busking. Was he in the crease, though? There's a conversation. He dove, but was he in? John, you make the call. It's a good goal.
Yeah, I think this Evan Aponte right here, he was the one who started this. Gets the ball, hits the right pass down on the wing, bring it right back across to Busking, and that's the finish there. And I think the refs made the right call there. He dove across. He didn't dive into the mouth of the crease, so there's no intention to, interact with the goalie and run into him, so you're in good shape.
As is West Islip, a 3-1 lead, and it's, again, the Sparks to Busking combination there with a little bit of a hockey assist as well to Aponte. So it's a 3-1 lead for the visitors from West Islip. And not the easiest one yet for Schwartz.
Yeah, interesting to look at this, that, West Islip has a pretty dominant lead as far as also possession time goes, and Schwartz hasn't been as successful as he normally is. And if he gets rolling, this game could get out of hand a little bit. So I think Bayport needs to have a good defensive possession now, but then get down then on offense and really be emphatic in how they attack the goal.
And that's been big, too, with the other side of the ball, where Dorfman had some early struggles, as Tom Corcoran detailed. But you know what? West Islip has so much of the ball that his confidence can just grow. If he makes a couple of those saves, he's not under constant duress. He did get peppered a little bit against Kings Park, but certainly helps things, and it also helps West Islip get back into games.
Absolutely. He's definitely come into his own. That the Farmingdale game, I know, was a big change for how he stepped up and played. And it could be a double-edged sword for you as a goalie. If your team is so good on offense and so good from the face-off X, we talk about it all the time. Everyone here at Varsity Media talks about as a goalie making that first save. And if your team always has the ball, you sometimes can't get hot, you can't get rolling, and you feel almost cold when you finally do come down on defense. So good and bad, and it's sometimes tough to play in the net for a team that's so strong at the X and on offense.
Buskin gets top side, surrounded by poles, just eaten up like a slice of classical pizza. Long distance opportunity. That's wide of the mark by Logan Brennan. So we knew that West Islip would hold for the final shot, but that shot wasn't the one they wanted, thanks to those poles of Bayport-Blue Point. You like some team offense? How about this? Tic-tac-toe. Busking his impression of Superman there, and it's West Islip with a 3-1 lead after one. You're watching West Islip Bayport-Blue Point right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Bob Sullivan Field here at Bayport-Blue Point. Dylan Butler, John Geegan with you for this Suffolk Division II showdown as West Islip has a 3-1 lead after one. And we take a look at the Division II standings. And again, it's a mixture of Class B and Class C. And you see at the very top, it is the best two teams in Class C. Mount Sinai with a tight win over Bayport. They might again meet for a county championship. You've got Hauppauge, Comstock, East Islip, and West Islip. That's your Class B. And you speak to Tommy Corcoran, and he said, listen, anybody can win Class B. And listen, Shoreham-Wading River is a dangerous team there. They're a little bit of a struggle right now, but they've got some incredible talent. Gregorak and all those dudes out there, the Kirschus guys. So they'll figure things out, I think, down the stretch here.
Yeah, Shoreham's always a dangerous team, and then looking back at what you mentioned, I'm sure all the guys on Bayport would love another shot at Mount Sinai, and maybe they will get one later this season.
And Mount Sinai undefeated, one of the top teams in the country, and proving, I think, beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is life after Joey Spallina, right? Because you still have other Spallinas as well, and some other really talented players as well. Cole Marsala, and look at Luce, 2 for 2 on the pole goal. No, just wide off the face-off win.
Yeah, West Islip definitely a little close for comfort if I'm in that net. You want to get it's tough because you have a pole coming down your center cylinder. You want to stop him. Definitely need to stop him a little early because he is definitely proving that he needs the stop and the attention. He's definitely earned that.
That was a 4-2 loss back on April 18th at Mount Sinai for Bayport-Blue Point. So as close and as tight as you can get.
Yeah, 4-2 game. That's a tight dogfight.
Kaiser tries to go upstairs. Great save by Dorfman and a really good clearance as well.
Yeah, I like what Bayport did there. They moved the ball quick, attacked the backside. Decent shot from probably about 12 yards, but Dorfman's there to answer the call.
So back on offense comes West Islip. We mentioned those terrific early season wins. 7-2 over Connecticut, 6-5 over Farmingdale. Now they did lose to Mount Sinai. That was 15-6. And again, they got Shoreham early in the season, and the Wildcats won that one 18-4. But it's been 7 wins in a row right now for the Lions heading into the final stretch of this regular season.
Do have to say, interesting matchup situation right here. We have 3 shorties for Bayport out on the defensive end. So I don't know if that's a personnel thing or on purpose.
This is Schwartz backing up Shanahan. The feed in front, and there's the finish for West Islip. And it looks to be, again, Aponte, his second. And West Islip extends their lead to 4-1.
Great backside cut by Aponte. And you see, as the carry goes down here behind, Schwartz we have an invert because, as I mentioned, you have 3 short sticks on the field, so why not go to that? So Schwartz carries behind, and he sees that backside cut to Aponte with a check on his hands, puts it down low. There's nothing you can really do as a goalie in there. Grand did his best, turned over his back shoulder, but you're not going to get to it.
So Busking's second of the game, which gives him 31 in the season, and Schwartz his 10th assist, and another face-off win, and they got the timeout with it, didn't they? Yes, they did. So face-off game, by the way, right now, 4 of 6 for Bayport. But the score doesn't kind of show that off, right, with West Islip beating this one 4-1.
Yeah, Bayport's been just so impressive, and to see that it's still West Islip, it's still a big mountain to climb.
All right, let's take a look at our latest Varsity Media Sweet 16 rankings. This is fresh right now, and you can see St. Anthony's, a stunning 1-goal loss on the road to Haverford. Manhasset getting the job done. They went to Rutgers this weekend, played Rumson Fairhaven. Pretty good side out of New Jersey, and Manhasset got the road win there. Chaminade, also a stunning 1-goal loss to Wilton. But we have a lot of big games coming up. Chaminade playing at St. Anthony's, and then, of course, Reeves Rock as well, with Manhasset heading to Gold Star Stadium to take on Chaminade. You see the rest of it there. Mount Sinai, undefeated still, one of the rare undefeated teams left on Long Island. Connecticut having a great run right now. The Dalers right behind them. Ward Melville, there's Bayport-Blue Point, Garden City, Hills, Hopog, Comstock, and there's West Islip checking in at 13. Southside, Calhoun, and Cary out of Nassau County round out the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I think these rankings are dead on. It's a lot of parity going on. Seeing St. Anthony's drop one, seeing Chaminade drop another makes this week coming up with so many different matchups so exciting and interesting.
There could be some out there, and I'm sure there are some out there saying, well, I think Manhasset is better than St. Anthony's. How do the Friars stay number 1 off a loss? Listen, hit us up on our social media handles. You got a beef with that? Let us know. But as I always say, show your work. Don't just say they should be one or the other. Tell us why. So there's a shot over the mark there by J.J. Aiello. Nice move and a better save and a flag as well as Morris tried to get to the cage. Let's see what this one is. This will be against West Islip. High shot, a 1-minute penalty. So first man up opportunity for Bayport.
Dorfman's having a great game. It's always tough as a goalie. You make that save that you need to. You have a clear look the other way, but it's a penalty, so it's coming back, and you got to do it again.
I will say this, though, that he's made, 4 saves. I think he's seen every one of them, right? Like I said at the last game, I'll repeat myself, change angles, make it difficult on him. He's seen some shots here in this first half.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a clear look at them. They're not overly challenging. I would say the one that went off stick in the first quarter, that was the toughest one from about 10. But otherwise, you got a good goalie in there. You got to really challenge him.
Low to high. J.J. Aiello stings it. And the man-up goal pulls Bayport-Blue Point to within 2.
Yeah, Bayport might have your mic in their helmet there like the NFL, because change angles, and that is what works. So obviously you're man down, you're trying to get the ball, trying to get to make the defense rotate. Quick passes are always the key to make this happen. So you see it just one more. The defense doesn't quite get out there where you need to. A little face dodge. And there it is, a little late to get out to his hands. Off stick high, that's a real tough save for Dorfman to make.
Aiello, the Navy commit, 31st goal of the year. He is the face of this franchise, part of this varsity team since the 8th grade. As off the face-off win, Doug Meehan uses his second timeout.
I like the call on the timeout right now for Meehan. You know, it's 4-2. Next possession's going to be big. Next goal's going to be big, especially with 9 minutes left in the half. It's anyone's game.
Take a look at some of our upcoming sportscasts for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Super Saturday, indeed. And this is great. You can watch all 3 of these. Like, we're going to be at different games, right? So we've got our own job to do, but you know that we're keeping an eye out for these other ones. It starts at noon, high noon, as Farmingdale and Massapequa renew their rivalry in Nassau Conference A. And then it is Reeves Rock, Manhasset, and Chaminade, 2 o'clock from Gold Star Stadium, in memory of the late, great hero that is James Regan, who is a Manhasset resident, played for Chaminade. So it's always a special day when those two meet. And then East Islip at Shoreham-Wading River. We just mentioned those 2 teams there as well. Tommy Zumo he's got the construction project going on. He's got the hard hat on, working things with East Islip, and Shoreham-Wading River looking to kind of bounce back off some mistakes. And there's at the bottom of your screen a couple of games in Nassau to round out the regular season. Plain Edge Cary and New Hyde Park and Long Beach.
Yeah, I can't say enough about what this Saturday's games bring. You know, Farmingdale is a hot team right now, and them going to Massapequa, that game is just always something that everyone looks for. So I'm going to be watching for it too, and can't wait to see the result.
Yeah, I won't be like, you can't watch while you drive, right? But I'll have it on. I'll have the sound on. I won't have my my highway radio on, like with you know, I like my country music there. I'll have that not on, but instead listening to the call on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Another solid save by Dorfman there. That one was a tough one. It was, you know, carried it around at the elbow, in tight, holding your pipe, and you know, Bayport tries to move him, and he really does a good job staying disciplined and using his body to make that save.
He's got 5, so he's been the busier of the 2 goalies. On the other side, Eric Gran, just the 1 save to this point. And again, they'll switch goalies at halftime. That's been the situation all game long. All season long for Bayport, where the second half we'll see Brady Smith. We mentioned Jamison Smith earlier. That's his younger brother, the Albany commit. And that one was blocked. I think it hit a pole in front, and now an opportunity unsettled for Bayport to come the other way. Slicing through. Shot. What a terrific save. The best one just yet, as it was robbing Danny Aiello. Great save by Dorfman.
That was a big-time save by Dorfman. And that's one of those things where you don't want your goalie sprawling on the ground, flopping around and stuff all the time. But in certain situations, it's the right move to make. In tight, a high-to-low shot, like you said, they're changing their levels now. So he's got to go to the ground. You use that leg to sprawl to make sure that if you don't get a great piece with your stick, you get your leg down there too. Huge save by Dorfman.
Tom Corcoran, the West Islip coach, said this one could be one of those in the single digits, and it's seeming that way with his goalie making some big saves, 6 so far, and the latest, the best one, and you know, denying this powerful Bayport attack.
Yeah, as you said, they have some dudes, and we, you know, I'm sure that there was a lot of focus on Schwartz at the faceoff X, but Dorfman really seems to me to be a big difference maker in this game right now.
Keenan goes question mark off the mark, and now here comes Bayport looking to clear.
And to close this gap, that's what Bayport needs to do. Get a ground ball, get a little light turnover, something like that, where you don't require any big defensive energy, bring it back the other way, and keep getting that offense settled in.
There you see number 2, P.J. Shanahan. Wore that number 26, which was special and meaningful in his family. And we'll get to that in a second as he gets downhill for a second. Thought he would get to the cage, instead brings it back out. But wears number 2, which, about 6 or 7 years ago, the coaching staff here at Bayport, they want to have one of those numbers. It wasn't going to be like a memorial jersey, but you thought back, and at the time it was Sal Lacasio who just, as a bouncer off the pipe, Sal Lacasio just epitomized everything they wanted. He was a lefty who just turned out to be the best defensive midi, tore his hamstring, but he still did those ball hunts for 100 yards regardless, and, that was the guy that you wanted to emulate at Bayport-Blue Point. So it goes to a skilled kid, but also the unquestionable leader of the team. A year ago, it was Gavin Lacasio. And, of course, if you're a Lax rat, you know that Lacasio name. And you talk about terrific goalies, man. Dad was one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time.
Absolutely. I definitely was at a few camps and got some pointers from Sal Lacasio over the years. And I think it's a really great thing that Bayport's doing to establish that jersey, because they're becoming a force to be reckoned with, of course, in Long Island lacrosse. And the way to do that is you have these youth leagues that feed some of the great teams, but at the varsity level, it's really about culture. And as a coaching staff, what are your expectations going to be? And that's what you need to establish. And that jersey is what you choose someone every year that embodies that, and that's great.
And like I said, last year, it went to the younger Lacasio boy, Gavin, who's currently playing collegiate lacrosse, and this year, Gavin's at UMass, and this year, as we said, it goes to P.J. Shanahan, the Honey Badger, they call him on this team, the smallest kid but has the biggest heart. Beautiful afternoon here at Bayport-Blue Point. So glad you're with us here in the Varsity Media Sports Network. We showed you there a moment ago. You want to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media handles. We'll have some announcements as well of some likely playoff games going ahead. So the only way to stay tuned and figure those things out is to follow us on those social media handles at Varsity Media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So here we go off the timeout. West Islip looking to clear. And they do. Good job by West Islip. And that was Keenan to do so. Keenan, a guy playing like a senior. He's got the poise and exploded against Kings Park when they needed it most. 6 goals and 1 assist in that game. Here's Quinn Riley. Gets by Kaiser. Switches hands. Riley the finish. What a goal for the super sophomore. And West Islip extends their lead.
Makes life really easy when you have someone like that can really kind of basically be a one-man offense. What I love about what he did was here, he changed direction probably 4 times, going from left to right, right to left. So you have your D-midi there. Normally a D-midi is told to force him one side. So he's trying to get one side, get him to commit one way, and he keeps going back and forth and just takes what the easiest route to the goal is and finishes.
Riley's 12th goal of the year, and I love the Selly Quinn. Took the stick out like he's got some corn in the cob there. It's the season for it, right? And you see there, too, the flag which came after, and that was after the hit. You saw Riley take that hit late. That's where that flag came. So that's an and one for West Islip, and let's see if they can capitalize here on their second man up. Watch it again. Right there. The late hit by Varley.
Yeah, good contact there.
By Riley Spencer.
Sorry, good contact there, but Riley takes a little bit of a high hit, doesn't stop himself going to the ground to make sure the penalty goes the other way, and this is a big man down situation for Bayport. Down 5-2, 5 minutes left. need to stop here for sure.
So both teams capitalizing on their lone man up of this game. This is the second one now for West Islip. And there's Nick Henry. Keenan hands off. Gets it right back. Lefty rip low. Terrific save by Gran. Ooh, it is kicked back in his own net. The pole just trying to get it back to Gran. And it rolls in. Unfortunate for Bayport.
Yeah, definitely tough. But interesting here, West Islip started last man up. We saw in a 3-3. They came out right away in a 1-4-1. So just that 1-4, it's kind of a different scheme to be defending when you're man down, moving the ball. All it is really here is just a little carry down, can carry up to make that defense rotate, and you have that time and room. There's a little seal off there, too. Big save by Gran. I love that save, and unfortunately just an unlucky turn of events. A lot of traffic, ball gets kicked in.
So 6-2 the lead for West Islip, and now the Lions 2 for 2 on the man up. There'll be a hold on this one, and it'll be West Islip ball. So they're now 5 of 9, just a little bit better than 50% on the faceoff. And a reminder, folks, stick around here at halftime. We'll have the Classico Pizza review. I know that you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, as they brought it up here, we're in open air press box today, but so that pizza has been definitely filling the air up here, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we need some security maybe here at halftime because I think some folks smelling it as well. They want to have some of that.
For sure.
So West Islip, an opportunity here, big possession. They could really make things difficult on Bayport here with another goal. And backing things up is Logan Brennan. He's the clearing middie with the first mid, plays with the second. Bright kid, helps in the ground ball game. Maybe he watched that Ivy Championship yesterday, tried the little hidden ball trick. That worked for Princeton. As the Tigers went on to win the Ivy Championship, or in the automatic bid. Look at this. Oh, tremendous stuff by Nick Henry. Under duress, it doesn't matter. Henry finishes, and the sophomore extends West Islip lead to 7-2.
Yeah, we see West Islip's operating a lot now out of that 1-4-1 set. So there's just a lot of carrying, a lot of sealing off of the different players to sort of try and limit the slide availability. And Henry just here, he gets pushed down, does a good job, gets back up, and fires it off stick high. It's a tough save to make, but great spot on the net.
In that win against Connecticut early in the season, Henry was huge. 2-1 in that one. The lefty gets his 6th goal of the year. And what a run right now for the boys from West Islip. It's a 7-2 lead with 3:41 left in the first half.
Yeah, I love the offensive set West Islip's running. They're doing a great job in that 1-4 to try and control what Bayport can do and limit their slides.
That a clean win for Schwartz, and smart decision here, not looking for the early offense. Instead, let's settle things down. We've got a 5-goal lead and the ball late in the second quarter.
Yeah, the concern I have for Bayport is they did such a good job early on being focused on that game plan of getting 50-50 ground balls off the face-off, and now you're down a couple, so you start to get the adrenaline. You got to do a couple crazy things, and I think they need to really focus on getting back to the game plan and limiting those face-off wins for Schwartz.
The problem, too, is if you're defensively and you're gripping that stick tight, maybe another penalty, and all of a sudden West Islip, listen, they're already 2 for 2 on the man up.
Yeah.
There's Schwartz. You can see how much bigger he's gotten, too, this year. You know that when he gets up to Albany, Scotty Marr is going to be like, I like the size of you, my man. Downhill, jump shot, and Gran makes the save. That one may be forced a little bit by Riley, and Gran feeling it. However, some quick offense the other way. The N1, low to high, off the bar. And that shot by J.G. Aiello. But a concern for Bayport, as on the other side of the field, Gran, I think he took it off his knee. He'll stay in and battle. There you see it.
Big play, Gron. He just took one, and it didn't look like a great spot, and he gets up and jumps that pass, gets possession the other way, because if I've been in the net, it's happened to me, and the last thing you want is to play a whole defensive set.
It's a big chance here for Bayport to sort of maybe try to chip away. But Dorfman says no.
Bayport's moving the ball fast. They got West Islip's defense moving, but Dorfman's there and makes a big save.
Another one into the crease, and a crease violation against Bayport, so West Islip comes away with the ball. They've tried that pass, but one of those low percentage passes right into the teeth of the defense. When it works, it's great, but more often than not, this is what happens out of it.
And that's what I was talking about before. I think Bayport's chasing a little bit. They're not used to being, a 5-goal trail, and now they're trying to do some things that they may not have done in the beginning of the game, and it's only can create that snowball effect. They need to settle down a little bit, get back to what kept them tight, and climb back in this game.
Schwartz splits defenders. Now he swims. He's bringing out all his moves out of his dodge repertoire. And he's got the size. He could bulldodge it as well if he needed.
Yeah, I'd like to see Bayport helping a little more here. West Islip has beat them with pretty much one-on-one offense in a lot of ways. Single carries through their defense, time and room shots. And, this is one of those things where I think you'd have to send some more early slides, especially your shorties being dodged now behind. Once he gets beat, you should go early and often and make them pass the ball and beat you that way.
Inside the final minute, you would expect West Islip to hold for the last. But then again, I thought they would before, too. So let's see. Ponte backs it out. 30 seconds.
One thing's for sure, West Islip can make offense happen out of seemingly nothing. So, yeah, hope for the last one, but if you have that opportunity, take it.
They have to get in. And now they do. Look at this, switching hands. Low save by Gron. Rebound. And a crease violation the other way. So Bayport, if they hurry, they can get something here. Spinning, turning, Keisler off the mark.
Big save by Gron, great ball movement. Shot just off the cage. Bayport really could use that.
5 seconds. Bayport trying to get something here in the closing seconds. They will not get a shot off as Morris was stuck at X. So the Lions coming to town, and they have roared in this first half. Some great saves by Dorfman, and then some great team ball. And how about this individual effort, though? Knock me down, I don't care. Henry says, I'm still scoring with my left. And West Islip leads at 7-2 here at halftime. The Classico Pizzeria food review when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase has been the premier recruiting event in the nation for over a decade. Led by high school coaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties, our event annually draws the biggest and best college coaches. Past participants and MVPs have been Joey Spallina, Mac O'Keefe, and Xavier Arline. Registration is now open for this must-attend summer event. Register now at lilacshowcase.com and follow us on Instagram at lilacshowcase. And coming this fall, for the first time, our Girls Showcase.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it!
Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions! If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media.
We welcome you back to Bob Sullivan Field here at Bayport-Blue Point, and the Lions leading this one 7-2. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. It is Classico Pizzeria, 5 Udall Road in West Islip, 631-990-5005. Classico Pizzeria New York.com. There you see it. Listen, new owners, Dominic Volpe, Brian Severin. It's newly renovated. You got takeout, delivery, over 25 specialty pizzas available. That includes cauliflower and gluten-free crust as well. Today, what we're working with here, let's see, where we left to right. Let's see, on my side here, closest to me, this is the hot honey and pepperoni cup Sicilian. That is incredible right there. By the way, I think the whole pie was maybe about 13 pounds. Incredible. What you've got here in the middle is the tricolor grandma. It's the pesto vodka marinara sauce. You see, beautiful presentation there by Classico. And to your left, it is the Classico pie, chicken franchise, hot cherry peppers, and fresh mozz. Absolutely delicious. So, John, let's see. How are we gonna get this one going here? You gonna go tricolor?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go tricolor. Sounds good to me.
All right. Here you go. Little plate, and they brought plates too, which we appreciate. We haven't had a lot of these places hook us up with some plates. So I'm gonna get the pepperoni as well. Lift the mic this time. I learned my lesson from earlier encounters here. So here we go. You ready? All right, let's go. All right, so what I love about this one, too, is like the hot honey is kind of on top of the pepperoni. You get the saltiness of the pepperoni. You get the sweetness of the honey, but a little bit of a kick as well. Really, really well done. Right on top of a Sicilian. Amazing, amazing stuff. How about your tricolor?
I mean, I've never had a tricolor before, so it was interesting. I wasn't quite sure how I'd like it, but I absolutely love it. The mix of it all together. Obviously, they know what they're doing. Incredible. Nice little crunch on the bottom of it, but great, generous amount of cheese on top with the tricolor. So I love it.
Yeah, you don't quite know how that's going to work out, like all kind of marrying together, right? But incredible.
It hits the spot for sure.
Listen, Classico, incredible job done. And you know what's best about this place is if you're a West Islip guy, this is in your town, right? It's right there, real close to the high school. And even if you're from here in Bayport, listen, I thought about this before. It's a 20-minute drive, right? It takes about 20 minutes to make a pizza, right? About, give or take. Make the phone call up Classico. If you're at Bayport, take the drive over, and you can get a slice and a pie just like this.
Yeah, normally they say 20 minutes, so do it as soon as you get in your car, and you're going to have a steaming hot, pie right there ready to go, and you can't go wrong with either of these.
Incredible stuff. We appreciate it. Dom and Brian, and again, it's Classico Pizzeria at 5 Udall Road in West Islip, 631-990-5005, Classico Pizzeria NY.com. Great stuff from Classico. Halftime here at Bayport. The young kids are on the field now doing their thing. 7-2 is the lead in the high school game. It's the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase has been the premier recruiting event in the nation for over a decade. Led by high school coaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties, our event annually draws the biggest and best college coaches. Past participants and MVPs have been Joey Spallina, Mac O'Keefe, and Xavier Arline. Registration is now open for this must-attend summer event. Register now at lilacshowcase.com and follow us on Instagram at lilacshowcase. And coming this fall, for the first time, our Girls Showcase.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase has been the premier recruiting event in the nation for over a decade. Led by high school coaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties, our event annually draws the biggest and best college coaches. Past participants and MVPs have been Joey Spallina, Mac O'Keefe, and Xavier Arline. Registration is now open for this must-attend summer event. Register now at lilacshowcase.com and follow us on Instagram at lilacshowcase. And coming this fall, for the first time, our Girls Showcase.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Bob Sullivan Field here at Bayport-Blue Point. Halftime winding down. So cool to see the kids from both of these towns playing at halftime. A lot of fun. Really builds up the tradition, really, right, between both of these towns. Of course, a tradition rich at West Islip, all those championships. There you see some of the young boys, and it's building here in Bayport. So a great opportunity for the youth. We saw it last year, too, in that game. So cool to have them out there at halftime as well. Let's take a look at the halftime stats, John. And you see the edge in shots for Bayport. Saves, obviously Dorfman's been the busier of the two, including one really good save as well. Face-offs, a slight edge, but that's advantage Bayport, considering, again, how good Schwartz has been all year. And you see both teams on the man-up. That should actually, it's 2 for 2, 1 for 1 on that one. But both teams capitalizing when their penalties were called.
For sure. I think one of the things that stands out to me is the amount of shots Bayport has. They're looking at stats at halftime. They're probably saying, we're getting our shots off. We got to get them on cage. Because 20 shots, that tells me there's a few missing the cage. They're getting their opportunities, but you got to make them count.
And again, thanks to Dom and the guys at Classico Pizzeria. Tremendous stuff, man. Our crew is very happy here after that one at halftime. So West Islip face-off win to start the second half.
Exactly what West Islip wants to do, come out in this third quarter, and really try and dominate the second half and continue of where they left off.
Tom Corcoran thinks it's really wide open this year in the B, and every year we kind of see Pete Mitchell's Compsawag somehow find the way and win it, and they do it with great goaltending and really gritty play, but they've been in close games, and Tommy Zumo's guys at East Islip have been in close games, and West Islip's kind of looking at the field and saying, why not us, right? We're in the mix as well. I think this year more than ever in Suffolk County, it is wide open this year. And West Islip, their history is all about titles in Class A. Of course, when the legendary Scotty Craig was the head coach, and we could talk more about that in the second half, but it's been a little bit of a while. It's changed now. They're in Class B instead, but still, when you wear that jersey, there's a lot of responsibility as well.
Yeah, West Islip's a perennial powerhouse. Everyone knows their program, and for them this year, they got a great face-off guy, and what we're seeing at Dorfman today, they're as good as anyone that can make a run. And with the team that has, been bred into lacrosse, where you got kids in first and second grade running motion offenses, the IQ matters in the playoffs, and I think that's going to become an important factor for them.
That shot blocked in front, and this allows Bayport now to run the other way. They want to try to get things unsettled if they can. They don't want to let West Islip get into their defense, but they also don't want to force things either. So, by the way, the kids' game, you can see it on the top of your screen. It continues on the other field. You love it. Step down, shot. Nice save. Aiello with the shot. Dorfman makes the save.
Another solid save by Dorfman. He is locked in. And it's great to see the kids' game continue because normally they play halftime for a couple minutes. They're jacked up, but they get to keep playing it out. I love it.
You got two fields here. The youth field and the girls' field is pretty much primarily that one across the way, right behind the high school. To our left, we've got the baseball field. Great athletics program here at Bayport-Blue Point. As here's Nick Henry. A goal in the first half. And, man, talk about juice. When you get guys on your second midfield unit scoring goals, right, bonus.
Yeah, it's what Coach Corcoran pointed out is their depth. That depth is so key late in the season, and especially to get into the playoffs. That depth makes a difference.
That a strange shot that kind of gets through. Definitely angles that were changed, but Brady Smith makes his first save.
Yeah, checking into the games, Brady Smith making a good save, and that's not an easy one. Off the roll, low to low. It's one you want to sneak in. It's a big save.
Whole goal opportunity again. Bounced wide. Kept in, though. Low to low. That hit a pipe. As that opportunity was by J.J. Aiello. Ground ball scooped up by Mikey Luce.
Yeah, that shot by J.J. Aiello, that had some heat on it. Hit the pipe, but that was there's a difference between fast shots and hard shots, and that was a hard shot.
So J.J. now looking for his call from the sideline. Momentarily, he's got the short stick. We expect the slide to likely come pretty quick. Mickey Faulkner was looking his way.
Yeah, Faulkner was pretty deep out there, ready to go. Wants the ball out of his hands pretty fast.
Aiello hands off. That's a bouncer wide of the mark by Ben Morris. But again, the ground ball picked up, so you can continue quickly. Low shot wide of the mark.
Yeah, tough for Bayport right now. I mean, I'm counting in this possession alone. 4 shots missed the cage already. They got to get them on to climb back in this one.
24 on the game, just 2 goals. Ben Morris, he too now has a short stick matchup. Slide comes his way, hands off. That's Kaiser. Little stutter step. Good defense by West Islip.
Yeah, we know Coach Corcoran likes his shorties, and they're sliding early to them because even though he's confident in them, they slide early. That's making it really hard for a team that's attacking short sticks.
Really unlucky right now for Bayport, but persistence pays off as Macklin Kaiser scores the goal. That came after, 2 or 3 pipes, some saves as well, but Kaiser stayed with it and gets a big goal for the Phantoms.
Yeah, you probably, on Bayport, starting to think, what do I have to do at this point to put the ball in the back of the cage? Dorfin's making saves, hitting the pipes, missing the cage. And that one there, Kaiser just dodges straight down the middle of the field after getting a rebound and buries it.
Shot number 26 of the game for Bayport, and Kaiser gets the finish. St. John's committed his 19th goal of the year. Will go on and, as we said, play for Justin Turry, one of the All-Americans at West Islip. So cool to see, too, where Turry, in his first game as head coach, played a school that you know well, Manhattan, as there's an errant pass off the face-off win. But he did it at West Islip, right? Back home, back on his home turf. It wasn't a win for the Red Storm, and they struggled this year. But everyone you speak to says with that coaching staff, they're going to get things turned around sooner than later.
Yeah, you with someone like Turry, he's a young next-generation coach, doing all types of film takedowns, stat analysis, and he's a player's coach. The athlete of today is different than the one that was 20 years ago. And, you have someone that's played the game recently, played it at a high level. Where else would you want to go but play for someone like that?
And Turry and his brother also coached at a high level. Great fake at the crease. And Connor Curran, great to see him back as well from illness. He scores, and now Bayport's feeling it a little bit. Back-to-back goals cuts their deficit to 3.
Just what Bayport needed here. And you said before, making those kind of skip passes when you need to, but don't force them. When they're not quite there, pull it out. And this is, a very well-executed, well-timed pass, just really off the dodge. You're seeing it. The defense is gravitating towards him there, and he's just feeding the backside pipe. And, right there, you have Connor Curran just burying it, catching it, available, and just puts it away.
Curran, the lefty, sophomore, 14th goal of the year. And Shanahan gets the assist off the face-off. See, battling there was Danny Aiello, but it will be West Islip ball. So West Islip, after giving up back-to-back goals, now they go on offense. But momentum, it feels like, starting to swing the way of the Phantoms.
Yeah, they're back into that almost 1-4-ish type set with the invert. Let's see if Bayport starts to slide a little earlier here, because that's what's hurt them is that 1v1 offense.
Here's Aponte, not the guy who generally carries for this team, but it's funny. Corcoran says he'll get 5 or 7 shots a game, and he'll get his 2 goals. Good job in on the hands. Terrific effort by Riley Spencer.
Exactly what I think Bayport needs to do second half defensively. Make West Islip pass the ball. Don't let them beat you with just one guy.
Busking hits the brakes, rounds the cage, has a screen set by Aponte, and they'll play a 2-man game. It's now Aponte spinning. Aponte slide comes his way, tries to feed the crease, and it's taken away by Kaiser. Kaiser gets the ground ball, goes back to Smith. And one thing that we know from Smith, he is athletic. Played the field a year ago. Ahead to loose. Here we go. Bayport, that shot just wide by Shanahan.
Great handle by Smith. As you said, his athleticism was definitely on display right there. Face dodge, getting hacked, still making that pass where you need it, pushing that fast break. If that goal happened, it's because of Smith.
And isn't that incredible last year as well? Because of injury, because there were 2 Division I goalies in front of him, Brady Smith said, "Coach, I'll do whatever you need." And he played the field, never played the field before. And he scored the first goal of the year last year. This is a goalie, right? I mean, thankfully it wasn't with his goalie stick, but he scored the first goal of the year. And it's a credit to him being a great teammate and also, as you mentioned, his athleticism as well.
Yeah, I like to think myself athletic, but if I offered to play the field, my coach might say we probably have someone better.
J.J. Aiello somehow found himself wide open, turns, fires, and scores. And all of a sudden, Bayport is flying. They cut it to 2, and West Islip wants to talk it over.
Yeah, this is the type of thing that Bayport needs to be doing. Move that ball, find the open man, make sure he's open, but then finish it. In the first half, we saw them not finishing all their opportunities that Dorfman kind of robbed a couple from them. But here we see it, and that's what they need to be doing, burying it when you have the opportunity and making it count.
Aiello gets his second goal of the game, 2-1 for him, and an assist there for Shanahan. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for Bayport-Blue Point, and this is the part of the season, right? You wind things down. Winnable games against West Babylon and Smithtown West. You would expect Bayport to do well in those games, and again, depending on this game, if they can come back in this one, now you're looking at maybe 14-2 going into the postseason, and likely the 2 seed in the C playoffs.
Yeah, 14-2, not a bad way to go. As we said, this is a big game, not really major playoff implications for it, but still, it's a big test. It's a great way to get some of your best guys on film and see what they do and play to your strengths.
You see the huddle there for Bayport-Blue Point, and Doug Meehan in our conversation said, listen, defensively, we've been exceeding expectations. Every game plan has kind of been unique where it's been man, zone, lock, early slides, no slides. Offensively, he says he thinks that they're dangerous, but they still don't know if they're reaching their full potential as a reflection of some of their recent scores. They've gotten a little bit unlucky with some of their offensive performances. They've hit some pipes, as we see today, some big saves, as we've seen today as well. There's been some injuries offensively, but he's got 2 Division I goalies splitting time, and also at the face-off X, he thinks they're also exceeding expectations.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because they came out. I really like the discipline they're showing in that kind of first parts of the first quarter. They really knew what they were doing on the face-off X to make it a challenge for Schwartz. And then they started to go down a little bit and got away from it. And now I feel like they're back to playing disciplined lacrosse. They definitely had to talk it over at halftime, and they're back to playing a sound, both offensive and defensive game. We're seeing some great things all over the field, and that's what they need to come out and win this game.
I mean, it's cliche to say, but this sport is a game of runs, and we saw West Islip go on a big run to end the first half, and now it appears that Bayport is doing the same. And again, there'll be a push, but there will not. Thought there might have been a push, but here comes Riley Spencer the other way. Quick pass to Benny Buckets. Morris, jump shot, goal! Benny Buckets buries it, and Bayport is within 1.
I liked on the last one, the refs not calling the push. I felt there was no real pressure on Schwartz's back there. He kind of fell based on momentum. So it's a good no call letting them play here. You see that. So he's going for the ball. He's going down. There really wasn't that much pressure on his back, I'd say, to call that. So like that going the other way. But I think one of the biggest things here is that the slides here from West Islip. Old school coaching says you're sliding all stick, no body. And you had a lot of guys come with stick. There wasn't much contact. It made him pay.
And Morris got big to score his 42nd. Clean win for Schwartz the other way. Morris, Meehan says, is as talented a lacrosse player as I've ever coached. Righty, lefty, doesn't matter. His shooting is as accurate as I've ever seen. Just that complete lax rat. Also, listen, he'll take a face-off or two. Quick hands. And, he's a lefty as well, which makes it difficult for the face-off guy. But at one point in the season, too, led the team in ground balls, which just also speaks to, listen, he's not that pretty face, right? He just wants to score goals and get the glory. He's getting dirty as well.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time that anyone could be a good lacrosse player. There's no height or size requirement. Someone like that, lax rat, you can go lefty, go righty. We'll take face-offs. We'll put their nose down into a rough ground ball. There's a place on a team, on any team, for someone like that.
As we said, he'll go on to play at Hopkins, where it feels like that program is back on the rise. Look at this move to the cage. And it was saved. There's a flag as well. West Islip thought it had crossed the goal line, but a flag was thrown as well.
That's a solid save by Brady Smith there, and that's a veteran Division I goalie, because I always talk about and joke with the guys I train. You never want to hear the ball drop behind you. It's the worst sound. It hit him, and he turned very quickly, knew where the ball was, and looks around. And I think it went off his right arm or something like that right there. There you go, off his leg, hits the corner of the pipe, but clamps it quick and brings it the other way.
So third man up for West Islip. They are 2 for 2 on the man up.
Yeah, as we saw earlier on the man up, I felt West Islip did a good job pinching, squeezing the field. Let's see if Bayport will push out on them and extend a little bit to him.
Bouncer wide of the mark.
Definitely on that last one, a little bit more sense of urgency from the poles, getting out to the shooters up top, to their hands, because West Islip can shoot the ball, and you can't just sit back and wait for it to come to you.
Lions could really use a goal here. Look at the stick work, man. Mikey Luce is a beast. And he's doing it cleanly. Look at that. Knocking Keenan over. That's a D1 pole right there.
Luce, real impressive. He comes out, and you'd see that's the difference between, an okay defender and a big one. He went out, coming, swinging his stick, keeping that ball away from his cage, but he did it disciplined. All his checks, to me, were pretty legit. None of them were, rough or high or low and creating a bad situation for your team. He did it the right way.
And now we're even. But Luce, Meehan says, clearly our alpha back there.
That last play, you could see why. He was all over. He went from the middle of the field all the way out to the 50, fighting and getting the possession going the other way.
And he's taken his game to another level this year, playing about as well as you could play defensively. He'll take faceoffs. He's on the wings. He helps in the clearing game. So talented, as we've seen here with the stick. And here's Danny Aiello. Feeds it to X. Be careful there. A bit much on that pass. There's Curran. Pumps the brakes. Curran, Aiello wanted it. Instead, he goes up top. Kaiser dodges to the goal, and we are tied at 7. Kaiser switches hands to his left, and the future Johnny ties things up at 7 for Bayport-Blue Point.
Great dodge there by Kaiser. Really did a good job offensively. He gets the ball here, and he has one of the great West Islip D middies, Keenan, covering him. But you see as the overtime pass comes here to Kaiser, a little just shake dodge, but Keenan's feet are a little bit planted. He's kind of stuck there. And that because of that, Kaiser runs right by him, gets a nice shot off stick low on Dorfman.
Kaiser this year has completely expanded his game. And as such, his confidence has risen, his shooting has excelled. He was strictly an offensive midi last year, and this year playing on both sides of the ball. He's an asset on defense, on the wings. He's got 2, and we're 7-all here in the third quarter. Final minute coming up.
Also here out in Bayport, as you say, I think a lot of parents that like to think they wear the black and white shirt as well.
Inside the final minute. Loose. You get to the point where you kind of don't want to play his way, right? I mean, he's roaming out there, so he'll go to you, but he is a factor. There's no doubt.
Yeah, that's why I pointed out early in the game. With that size discrepancy, he's so big and physical that kind of like maybe someone else could take the dodge this time around.
He is also, he's got that lacrosse IQ, a coach's son. His dad, Mike, former head coach here, part of the coaching staff. Low shot wide of the mark. And Jeff Aiello, who was an assistant at Islip and won a state championship, he's the other assistant. So Meehan's got a tremendous staff where they can all just bounce ideas off each other.
That's what I think all the time when you look at what people talk about, what separates Long Island lacrosse from other places and makes it a hotbed. Some of these staffs that you have, it's the equivalent of having Derek Jeter coaching the varsity baseball team. It's just sometimes unfair in how and all the staffs all around Long Island have these great players and lacrosse minds on their benches.
Save by Smith, fired downfield in the final second, and that goes off the mark. But what a rally from the Phantoms, down 7-2 at halftime. I don't know, maybe they had some class go at the half, I'm not sure. But Kaiser, he's not Kaiser Sose, but man, he is slippery. Lefty, rip, and we are tied at 7. Bayport, West Islip, right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase has been the premier recruiting event in the nation for over a decade. Led by high school coaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties, our event annually draws the biggest and best college coaches. Past participants and MVPs have been Joey Spallina, Mac O'Keefe, and Xavier Arline. Registration is now open for this must-attend summer event. Register now at lilacshowcase.com and follow us on Instagram at lilacshowcase. And coming this fall, for the first time, our Girls Showcase.
We welcome you back out to Bob Sullivan Field here at Bayport-Blue Point. 7-all after 3 quarters of play. And this game is sponsored by the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation, whose mission is to spread the positive spirit of lacrosse and support the highest ethical standards for all participants through the annual initiatives. They include targeted grants, scholarship programs, lacrosse education clinics, and events to raise awareness and resources in support of the game. And also stick around post-game for the breakout goaltending group. Save of the game, the breakout goaltending group, also a proud sponsor of this one. And then we've got some tough decisions to make. You're the goalie, man. I defer to you, but we've had some good ones from Dorfman and from both Gran and Smith for Bayport-Blue Point.
Yeah, the goalies have made some impact in this game, and I said to you at halftime, I did not think the score was going to be 7-2 at halftime, but I also did not think the score was going to be 7-7 at the end of the third, so let's strap in and watch a good fourth.
You said that between bites of your classical pizza tricolor slice.
Absolutely.
Schwartz, the face-off win, and now West Islip will get into the attack. And as we see with a lot of these 5 o'clock face-offs late in the spring here, you see the shadows also, and we saw a few West Islip guys kind of shading their eyes on this side. That's where the eye black comes big, right?
Yeah, it's not just for looks, right? But I do think, yeah, you're right, and I was looking before in between one of the plays. It looked like the sun was a factor in Dorfman's eyes, maybe on one or two of those goals for sure.
It looks like Smith is good right now, but on the other side, Dorfman does have it in his eyes, and Smith, great save, and look at that nice, cool outlet. Look out, loose, pole-on-pole violence there taken away.
Another big save by Smith. He came out hot this second half. And, sometimes it's a challenge to have two Division I goalies that are both so good and so established as varsity goalies to manage both of them. But in this situation, Smith came out hot, ready to go, and gave the team kind of a little boost that they needed.
It's funny, too. A lot of times it's a philosophical question, right? A lot of teams have two great goalies, and maybe they both play early, and you let that goalie battle work itself out. That's another great save by Smith, the bouncer. But at Bayport, they've played this way for the last couple of years. And, the other side of the coin is, what's the phrase, right? If you have two goalies, you have no goalies, right? Because it's hard to get into a rhythm, but it's worked here for the Phantoms.
Yeah, especially I think you mentioned one of the biggest reasons that's successful is because they've done it for a while. It's tough to implement that system because you have different defensemen that prefer different goalies or whatever it is, and there's always the chatter in the locker room. But when you have it established like that, and then you have two guys that are both Division I commits that both we've seen today make solid saves, it really lets, creates that kind of battle in practice where they're both pushing each other, but there's no kind of rivalry at the end of the day because they're both getting their playing time that they deserve.
Here's Danny Aiello. Up top to Kaiser. He's done so well at the top of this offense, right? Just especially with his athleticism and his strength Kaiser has with his dodging ability. Now one Aiello setting the screen for the other. But Danny backs it up. He's a year behind JJ. What a feed. Oh, and one. And the goal by the Honey Badger. P.J. Shanahan, unselfish lacrosse at its best for Bayport-Blue Point, and they take the 8-7 lead.
Yeah, I was actually interested to see because I saw West Islip really extending the field a little bit more, putting some pressure on the ball, so I was wondering if that was going to open up some of these skip lanes. And we see that. You just see the ball shoot straight down here. 1, 2, 3, wide open there. Shanahan with the finish.
The St. Bonaventure commit his 31st goal of the year. Doug Meehan calls him a foxhole guy. He says, listen, man, if I'm ever in a foxhole, you are the guy I want with me. Smallest kid, but again, just battles out there. And look at this battle at the faceoff X. A second dive for Danny Aiello. West Islip comes away, but it was not for the lack of effort from Danny Aiello.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this fourth quarter plays out because we know West Islip's really more of a man-to-man, meat and potato style defense. They don't junk it up that much. We saw a little lock, but that was about it. They just extended the field a little bit and got burned on it, whereas Bayport can do a lot of different things zone and man, so we'll see how they continue the game.
And West Islip gets one back. So after that long run by Bayport, an important response there by the Lions.
Smith is human after all, right? Making a ton of big saves. Here, I felt like the Bayport slide was probably a little bit late. Looks like we have him under control there, but as he comes in, just kind of looks like he's going behind, but then finishes off the top there. So, not too much you can do there, but Keenan buries it.
Yeah, Keenan, the Fairfield commit, his first goal of the game, 22nd of the season. 8-8 now, the score, with 8:23 left. And it will be loose at the faceoff X. Schwartz with that quick twitch goes back the other way, but again, this is where you affect it for Bayport, but they'll get a push in the back on Loose. Unlucky for Bayport.
Definitely unlucky. Loose was going that way. I felt like his momentum kind of just took him there, and otherwise he was in position to make a play.
Slicing through the heart of the defense. Flag is thrown, so Bayport will go down a man again. And this will be a 1 minute unnecessary for Bayport. So with 8:02 left, it'd be a 1 minute penalty.
Yeah, tough late in the game. You know, it's a tight one. Everyone wants to win this one. It's just a little extra tap at the end there that not the best because you're going man down, but there's a lot of energy trying to protect that center cylinder of your defense.
So you bring this penalty down to 7:02 on the bottom right of your screen. And again, West Islip cashed in on their first two. They are 2 for 3 on the man up. This is a big one for the Lions.
Yeah, as I said, the shooters on the outside for West Islip have been a pretty big threat in their man-up situation. So see if Bayport stays packed or pushes.
That one blocked, and who else but Luce? Like a gazelle up the field, Mikey Luce.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed Luce by the end of this game, what game are you watching? He is everywhere.
Heading up to Boston University. Danny Aiello. Again, notice wait for this final few seconds. As we mentioned, gets down to 7:02. So another 10 seconds left in this man down. Wisely, West Islip, they'll pressure out a little bit, right? You don't want to give them anything free here.
Yeah, they got a little pressure. JJIL is being face guarded right now. So we'll see if he fights to get open or they just use him as kind of a pawn in the middle to jam up that crease and create some traffic.
And now we are even.
And we know everyone thinks, oh, you have a great player. Why not just face guard and take him out of the game? That really jams up your slide package. The nearest guy might be the guy in face guard, and that's a tough decision to make, whether to come off like we just saw or see him stay on.
And Corcoran said, that's not our game here at West Islip. Bouncer wide of the mark, or the jump shot by Shanahan. Ball stays with the Phantoms.
Now they're playing straight up man here. They're out of the face guard and going back to that simple man-to-man help defense.
Here comes Kaiser. Such a good dodger. Feeds it. Low to high. And the Honey Badger gets his second. Shanahan gives Bayport-Blue point the 9-8 lead.
Great offense here by Bayport. As they move the ball, I love what they do here. They're really paying attention to the slide package. So as the dodge comes, you see they dodge the center cylinder, and that jams up the slide package. So it makes the near man who's actually going to be covering Shanahan here, he has to slide. Shanahan just sits open, and they're stuck in between slides, and that creates that opportunity for a great time and room shot.
Kaiser with the assist, his 9th of the year, and Shanahan's second goal, 32nd of the season. Mr. Everything for this Phantoms team, and Bayport's got the 9-8 lead. It's Emilio Diaz back in at the face-off X. And right from the wing, that'll be a push from behind against West Islip. So it comes from wing play sometimes too. So J.J. Aiello there in going for a ground ball, and ultimately it results in that push and possession for Bayport.
Yeah, off the face-off, pushes, and a lot of these type of things, they come from smart play. And there's always a lot of bodies running around. It's the smartest one who's going to draw that push. Once you feel, and a lot of coaches say, you feel that pressure on your back, you move with it, so you're going to get that call. And that's what happens. If it's not that the two face-off guys going at it, these kind of 50-50 ground balls, the smarter players usually tend to get those wins in that edge.
So now Bayport will be in no hurry. Here's Kaiser.
And we've talked about some of the other games we've done. When you have that one-goal lead, what do? Do you milk the clock? Do you go for it? Especially someone like West Islip. We've seen them. They don't need everybody involved to create offense. One guy can tie it up in just a second with a great shot. So they have to be disciplined here, but also still go at it and try and add to the lead.
Ben Morris, the Kaiser tries to go high, and Dorfman, a save, an important one there.
Totally important for a multitude of reasons. Dorfman missed a couple of the last ones. He had a really hot first half. That was a big save. In tight, probably about 7 yards, up high, standing tall. A lot of goalies on those shots sometimes dip. He kept his stick up, stood tall, and made the save his team needed.
Not his best, but maybe his most important, considering those things that you mentioned. It now gives West Islip the opportunity to maybe tie the game here as we approach the 4-minute mark of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's really important for young goalies. They rarely, you're never going to get a shutout, especially playing teams like this. And that chasing that is unrealistic. So you always want to try and make the saves you're supposed to and steal one or two that you shouldn't have made. Give your team a chance to win the game, and that's a great game as a goalie, and that's what Dorfman, to me, has done today.
Busking lost it, and look at Smith here as well, out of his cage. And he forces West Islip here to call timeout. And that's the athleticism I mentioned before, too. Just ball's on the carpet. He's going after it behind the cage, makes it a 2-on-1, and forcing West Islip to call a timeout. We look at West Islip's upcoming schedule, and the Lions also just those 2 games left, but a little bit more difficult than what Bayport's got in front of them. You got Islip, a dangerous team as well, and there's Comstock. Could it be maybe that preview of the county championship? We know Pete Mitchell's guys are seemingly there every year, so that should be a fun one for West Islip Comstock to close out the regular season. And West Islip, we've mentioned it before, an incredible history. Talk about Suffolk titles. You've got 9 of them, all in Class A. And again, Scotty Craig had it going on, man. You won in 04, 05, 06, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That is a run for West Islip. Long Island Championships, they've got 8. New York State titles, they've got 5. They've got 24 All-Americans, which includes a 3-time All-American in the great Nicky Galasso. And, some incredible names. We mentioned Justin Turry before as well. He was a All-American in 2007. You go back as well, Kevin Federico in 06, Scotty Janko in 95. I mean, for the longest time, man, they were the town. They were the program. Still really solid, but others now, right? Especially now they're not in Class A, but you got Ward Melville, right? And most recently Northport's kind of won a couple of championships in a row, but for a very long time it was the West Islip legacy, man.
That's what makes Long Island so fun. You go to the Jerseys, the Marylands, there's pockets of a few good teams here and there, but, Northport, I remember being young when they were the powerhouse, and because of all these different changes, Ward Melville always has a solid squad, and as these things kind of go back and forth, anyone that has a good youth program, that's a key formula to developing your talent. West Islip has been, of course, a dynasty, in my opinion, and a factory for Division I great lacrosse players, but now there's plenty of other programs that can do it too.
Bayport, not quite there yet, but they're building, right? You've got a Suffolk and a Long Island championship in 2011 in Class C, and your All-Americans, there are 6 of them who have played for the Phantoms, which include Brian White in 2012 and Brian Ward in 2013. Sparks turns. Diaz almost had him. Look at the extra effort by Sparks. It looked like he was eaten up at the cage, but the persistence pays off for the Limestone commit. And we are tied at 9.
That's just a solid individual effort by Sparks. Everyone they could slid at him, and you had Sean Druckenmiller here. Comes up, slides, he's leaning on him, comes up a little underneath, and Sparks feels that pressure and rolls on the inside of it, and it makes him pay.
Sparks' first goal of the game, his 21st of the season. He's got 1 and 2 on the day. And it's 9-9. And again, a multitude of looks for C.J. Schwartz. And it's loose. He wins that one clean. Mikey Luce hands off. It's a bouncer, and good job by Ben Morris to back it up.
Big one by Luce. Not only wins the faceoff, he's running down that center alley. He's excited feels it, but he knows that this is the point of the game where his team needs a possession. Can't have a fast break go the other way. Face-off wins are tough to come by. Put in the hands of your offensive best and let them go to work.
For my money, Andrew Miller at Northport is the best guy with a long pole in his hands. And also we've seen him, how much he affects the offense. Arguably, he's their most dangerous guy on that side of the ball. But Luce, maybe a close second. He is really, really good.
Yeah, Luce is as impressive as I've seen any long pole so far this year. His size, his physicality, but also his intelligence. He plays smart lacrosse.
Morris switches hands, gets pushed, and a flag is thrown. So this will be a push from behind. So it'll be a 30-second man up as Brendan Pollard will go in. It's only the second man up now for Bayport-Blue Point, but it comes at such an important time with 2:10 left. Watch 12 here come in, and it's a push from behind.
Yeah, off the dodge, you see it's a little bit of a push, a little bit of a smart play by Morris, feeling that pressure as he goes into his dodge, feels the pressure on his back, goes down, and now you have a man-up situation.
Bayport has scored off their only man-up of this game. This, though, only 30 seconds. Feet up top, low to high, and Aiello over the bar.
Yeah, 30-second penalty, so you see Bayport came right out in their 1-3-2. There was no open set to get into it. They moved the ball 2-3 passes and attack right away.
There's Connor Curran. Low to low! And Benny buckets his second. And Bayport takes the 10-9 lead.
That is just well-practiced EMO, extra man offense. What they do here, it's just a simple pass because they look at the rotation. You see here that the defense gets caught in between that slide, that wing's open. So Benny buckets, as you would say, steps in and buries it.
That's what they call him here. I'm just continuing it on. Maybe when he goes, to the local pizzeria here in Bayport. I'll have the Benny bucket slice, please.
It's always a goal.
Extra sauce.
It's always a goal to get the sandwich named after you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Morris's second of the game, his 43rd. And Luce was saying Schwartz went early, but the referee thought otherwise. 10-9.
On that last one, I think it was Connor Curran who was behind, and that was what I was pointing out. He was staring at the defense of West Islip and watching their rotation set up, and that's where he hit Benny in between that kind of slide, and it created that opportunity. Real heads-up play.
Oblage gets the clear. He'll sprint out. And now West Islip gets their personnel on. It's Keenan. Less than 90 seconds left. This game a year ago was a one-goal game as well, but that was won by the Lions. Busking to Schwartz.
I'm liking what I'm seeing right now out of Bayport's defense, trying to extend those adjacent passes. I saw Aiello before pushing out on that adjacent, not making it easy to pass and dodge right away.
Here's Keenan from X. Inside the final minute, they'll look to play a two-man game there. Keenan rounds the cage. Keenan, high shot, and we are tied.
We always talk about at the end of the game, at the end of the season, athletes have to make plays. Keenan's one of the best on West Islip. He's got a dodge. They're playing a potential two-man game, but instead he takes it up the side alley himself. There's a little bit of a seal-off on the slide there. Takes it over the corner, turns the corner, and buries it. Off stick high. It's a tough save, Smith to make.
Keenan had to work for that one, man. He is gassed right now. That was extra effort personified. 23rd goal of the year for Keenan. We are tied at 10. And it's Luce and Schwartz with 50 seconds remaining. This feels like this could be one of those overtime face-off wins. Maybe you call a timeout here. I think West Islip does have one left.
Yeah, you get it down the offensive end. that's when I think you'd use the timeout, hopefully. If you have it left in the bank, why not?
Well, suddenly this is harder than they thought it would be. And now it's a ground ball war in midfield, and it is loose, of course, to pick it up. Timeout, Bayport. A failure to clear by Dorfman. And look, a little bit of pressure applied by Shanahan, right? And as you saw there, watch it again.
Yeah, what actually happened here, I was looking, it looked like West Islip had a little bit of trouble in the substitution box, a late sub, so they jumped Dorfman. It wasn't even a 10-man ride, but the open man was still coming on the field. And in this situation, your goalie's getting jumped. You got to call to him. You got to sprint to get the ball out of his hands so that this doesn't happen. He had to throw it in the middle of the field. Most of the time, you want your goalie to bury it down the far end, but he had pressure on his hand. Didn't have much he can do, and there's Luce again stepping up and making a play.
Yeah, how much do you like Luce's possibility there of getting that ground ball when he's looking for it there? We've got some exciting news for you here in the Varsity Media Sports Network. Even though we don't have the rights to the Long Island Championship games, we've got all your pre- and post-game coverage, all live from Stony Brook. We will be there all morning, all afternoon into the evening. It's a fun time. Our whole Varsity Media crew's there. We'll have a food review as well out from Stony Brook June 3rd, all day long, right here on YouTube, as we'll have interviews before, we'll have analysis, we'll have highlights, and of course the post game with the winners as well. The Long Island Championship, you hear it year in and year out, John. It is so hard to get off the island, and when you do, man, you have earned it.
Yeah, just as we've talked about, all these teams, the battles that go on in the playoffs to get to the counties, and then the counties are a mountain to climb. Then you got to face the best from the other county. So as you said, getting off the island is such an accomplishment in itself. Going to the States is kind of an afterthought.
And that's why Long Island is what it is, too, because so often you're so battle-tested in your own county, and then you win Long Island championships, the States almost become easier to win. As Morris steps in, comes back out. So Bayport, 10-10. They'll look to get something good here, especially, too, knowing Schwartz is so good at the face-off X. You don't want to force it, but you want to get a good shot off. Morris.
Yeah, you have to make sure you get the shot.
Low to low, and Dorfman makes the save on Aiello. Quick outlet, and we are heading to overtime. Dorfman perhaps makes up for that miscue in the clearing game, makes the save. And ladies and gentlemen, we have some free lacrosse coming up here from Bayport-Blue Point. And a big reason why is Patty Keenan, the extra work. Pole in his face, doesn't matter. Spins like a top, gets top side, and gets the glory. 10-10 is your score. Overtime coming up next right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Bob Sullivan Field. 10-10 is your score. West Islip and Bayport-Blue Point. Don't tell these teams it's a meaningless late regular season game. Yeah, they might be in different classifications, but they have balled out here on a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, this is a chance you get to prove to your team how to play in a playoff type atmosphere. Tight game, great team. Mistakes are in these situations will cost you. High stakes. That's the type of thing you need to be ready to do when you go into the counties and the Long Island Championships.
And the face-off becomes so important. And both teams get a timeout back. So often, again, depending on how you win the face-off, a lot of times you see the timeout right away. But maybe not if you get a clean win. Let's see who's going to be the hero here this afternoon in Bayport-Blue Point.
Big face-off matchup right now. You know, Luce has really made an impact for his team, you know, against West Islip and the talent of Schwartz there. So big one. It's as good as it gets. Nothing game, and it ends in the next goal.
And again, the wing play is so important. So Schwartz and Luce. Schwartz wins it back, and West Islip will use that timeout. Smart one, too, and it's not just because you win the faceoff, but look at the way that he was going. He was going right at a whole bunch of white jerseys, so good decision there by Corcoran to call a timeout. And now let's set up the offense for the Lions.
Yeah, it's one of the unique differences between the guys and the girls game where whoever has the ball has to pick it back up. And in the guys game, it can be any one of your players. So you get your right personnel that you want because, as you said, there were some white jerseys coming towards them. And, you know, we saw before that they're good at jumping the goalie, and you don't want to have that type of unsettled clear situation in overtime.
So West Islip will get to that board, and they'll figure out what they want to do here. When you look at their scoring this afternoon and throughout the season, it's been balanced. Today you've got 2 goals from Raponte, Busking, and Keenan. You've got 1 goal and 2 assists from Sparks and a goal apiece for Quinn Riley and Nick Henry. So a lot of different options there for West Islip. They don't have that one guy like a Nicky Galasso, right? Like it's going to be, and that what sometimes makes those teams that much more dangerous. And on the other side here, Bayport, similar. Shanahan's got 2 and 1. Macklin Kaiser and J.J. Aiello have 2 and 1 as well. And Connor Curran and Mikey Luce with a goal apiece.
Yeah, I think that's why you see the game we have today is the balance, because these teams, not only are they're great intelligent IQs, but we're seeing, in my opinion, essentially college-style defensive schemes thrown out there. So if you have only one overpowering player, most of these teams are going to be good enough to try and slow them down or shut it down. You need multiple threats on the offensive end, and both teams have that. That's why we're in a 10-10 game.
And both teams have really good goalie play as well. So that could play a factor here in overtime.
Yeah, Smith came out hot in the second half, and I think he's the difference maker for his team and on why they're in this game. Made a bunch of big saves to really slow down that momentum of West Islip, let his team go on a run.
So because of where you get the timeout, West Islip still has to get the clearance, and Bayport will not make it easy, that is for sure. Keenan does a really good job, gets downhill. Keenan splits defenders. Keenan overhand shot, what a save! Smith, a tremendous save. Luce, the GB. And timeout, Bayport-Blue Point.
When you're in the goal, all you want to have happen is have the ball go the other way in overtime. And you're sitting there, you know, everyone says, you know, the winners want the ball when the game's on the line. Not if you're a goalie. You want your team to take it down the other end and not have to do much. You know, West Islip comes up here. They run through. We're going through 3 guys on the ride. And as a goal, you're sending people. Smith, I heard the slide call, and he comes straight through. Keenan's running through everyone. Smith steps up, takes it right off the face mask. Key thing, nose on the ball. I always talk to goalies. Smith definitely got his nose on the ball on that one, and it gives his team another shot to play.
Skilled goalie throughout his youth, and same here in high school. Brady Smith, the Albany commit. He's crafty with the ball outside the net. Listen, both of these guys want to play. They want to play every minute of the game, but when they're not in, they're supporting each other, which is important in a 2-goalie system. So Gran on that sideline was probably the biggest one, whooping it up when he saw Smith make that save.
Yeah, that's always key, as I talked about before. It's tough when you have that could be a rivalry, but if they both know they're getting their fair time, they're going to support each other, and you're not going to have that.
Here it is again.
Keenan with a great athletic move, running around 3 rides. And then you just see him coming right down the heart. He's getting hit and checked, but Smith steps up, takes it off the face. You know, I'm sure that's not what they drew up, but the opportunity was there, so I don't think it's necessarily the wrong shot to take. Smith made a big save.
his 5th save of this game and the biggest yet. Could that turn into a game winner for Bayport-Blue Point? But they, like West Islip, have to clear here. Loose. Nice soft pass over the top. And now Bayport gets into their offensive set.
Looks like West Islip made a change late as they settled, and it made it too easy, in my opinion, of a clear for Bayport at this point of the game.
J.J. Aiello. He is the face of this franchise. Has been here since the 8th grade.
You want your veterans with the ball at this point of the game, and maybe that's what West Islip was thinking more. There's some veterans on defense. Instead of trying to create transition in that ride, get in, settle down. We play good 6v6 defense. Let's do that.
Aiello feeds the crease. Second man shot. What a kick save! Dorfman! Out to midfield. The fans here want over and back. They're not getting it. West Islip continues on. Here's Sparks from X, chased down by Luce.
Nothing I like better than seeing great goalie play, and that's what we're seeing here today. 2 big saves, one from each side on each team in overtime to keep the game going. Huge save by Dorfman. Can't say enough about it.
Here comes Keenan. Keenan. Ooh, and a late flag as well. 2 flags fly. Well, one is too many. There's 7 defenders right now for Bayport. So that's one of them. And in the hands, taken away, and now we'll get the whistle. Let's see what we have here. Will it be 6-on-4? Did they see the same thing here?
Definitely looked like there was a body shot first. It looked to the head. That could have been the call, unless both officials counted at the same time that there were 7.
So it'll be offside against Bayport. That'll be a 30-second. And if we count up defenders, they've got 5. So, all right, looks like 6-on-5. Still some discussion among the officials, but here we go. So 32nd man up for West Islip. They're 2 for 4 with the extra man. Riley denied. Quick outlet ahead to Luce. Picks it up off the ground. Mikey Luce already has a goal today. Backs it up. Look out.
Solid take by Riley on that last one, but Smith is there, standing tall, doesn't dip, keeps his team in the game.
Look at Shanahan. The feed, the goal, and the finish. And Bayport wins it. There he is. That is the face of the franchise as J.J. Aiello gets the winner for the Phantoms here in overtime. And a huge credit, John, goes to Shanahan. Under duress at midfield, kept his composure. Watch number 2 here. They're coming for him. Look at all the Lions.
They're going after him. Shanahan's seeing it. Late in the game, the crowd's loud, and he's getting pushed out of the sideline. Can't get touched, holds the ball, moves it. Gives his team a chance to win.
And somehow Aiello was there on an island by himself. After all that pressure went Shanahan's way. And JJ gets his 3rd goal of the game. Hey, Joe Ample is going to like to look at that. An overtime winner for Bayport-Blue Point, who win this one 11-10. What a rally from the Phantoms.
What a rally. down 7-2 at half, coming back. You can't say enough about the effort of Smith here out of the goal. He came out, was rock solid in the third quarter and threw into the overtime, made some big saves. No discredit to Dorfman, though. Dorfman on West Islip, he was dialed in. He gave his team every chance to win that he possibly could have.
A huge win for Bayport. They snap West Islip's 7-game unbeaten streak. The Phantoms improved to 12-2. We saw some great goals scored, but we also saw, and I know you love it, some great goalie play. And we take a look now at our breakout goaltending group save of the game. Of course, breakoutgoaltendinggroup.com. You want to get all your terrific training in, boys, girls, all ages as well, from the youngest kids on to college level players. You want to go to the breakout goaltending group if you want to become a better goaltender in either the boys or girls game. We had a lot of candidates. We could have done the breakout goaltending group top 5 saves if we wanted, but we will go to overtime with our breakout goaltending save of the game, and here it comes.
Yeah, you got to give it to Dorfman here. There was, like you said, highlights, but he's overtime, standing tall, boom, goes down, high to low on a low level, change of the shot, legs out, disciplined save.
And if we had a top 3, Smith's overtime save would have been number 2. It was the goaltending group, but the breakout goaltending
save.
group. Yeah, incredible stuff from both goalies. A really well played game by two teams we expect will make some noise come the county tournament. So congratulations to Bayport-Blue Point and the Lions. They will look to continue their season. Tough games again against Islip and Comstock coming up for them. Before we leave you here, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. A Super Saturday. The Dalers and the Chiefs renew their rivalry at noon. Then at 2, it is Reegs Rock as Chaminade and Manhasset battle. And then at 4 o'clock, EI and Shoreham-Wading River. That is, 6 hours of terrific high school lacrosse for you on a Saturday. You can watch NCAA tournament later. ESPN Plus is going to have it all anyway. Plain Edge, Cary, coming up for you on the 15th, and then on the 16th, New Hyde Park, Long Beach, close out the regular season. We'll have some playoff lacrosse for you as well. So you want to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, and also follow us on all our social media handles at Varsity Media on Twitter, Facebook, as well. What did I miss? Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Here you go. Right there. Those 3. Follow the arrow. But what a game here from Bayport-Blue Point High School, from Bob Sullivan Field. We were so happy to bring it to you. Again, Bayport wins this one in overtime for our entire Varsity Media crew. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Chris Sweeney. For Travis DeLuise and Tom Dwyer, I'm not John Perez. I'm Dylan Butler. He's John Geegan. Thank you for joining us from Bayport-Blue Point High School, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.